On this episode, we're talking about should you have a Twitter account, the importance of patient retention, and why coupons could be the right fit for you. Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome to the 88 Dental Marketing Show. This is the internet's only dental show that's answering marketing's most important questions. That is what we do. That's why we're here. I'm your host, Joshua Scott. This right here is episode number 49. 49 episodes answering questions. Got the crew here behind me. Hope everybody had a great 4th of July holiday weekend. Did you guys have a good weekend? Yeah? Good weekend? No. Lots of fireworks. You know, here in the Midwest, it's a little overcast and cloudy, but the rain held off. Had a good weekend, man. Just 4 days, 3 days, whatever. Just resting, chilling. But back in the show today. Got some good questions for you. And before we get into that, though, this month's featured article for July is Quick Growth Through Practice Purchases. And I wrote this article last month, kind of off some conversations I had with a few practices, just different phone calls and conversations, looking at potential opportunities for practice purchases and kind of the ups, the downs, the pros, the cons, you know, whether you should, whether you shouldn't, just kind of looking into that. And practice purchases honestly should be part of your marketing strategy. It should be considered as part of that anyway, and it's a really quick way to grow. It's just making sure you answer important questions before you go that way. So that article is down below in the show notes. It's linked. Would love to hear your comments, thoughts. Please leave me those and take a look when you have a moment. Until then, let's get to some questions.
Question number 1, Danielle wants to know, should I have a Twitter account?
Danielle, so the answer to this is no, but yes. And it's no, if you don't have a Twitter account right now, I don't know that I would bother with it as a dental practice. I've just, in the last 10 years, I've just never seen much traction there. I see it a little bit with some of the dental educators, but not so much from a local dental brand. So I would say no. Look, if you already have one, fine. Honestly, what I would do is just whatever you post to Facebook, I would just have that automatically post and kick it out to Twitter as well. And so don't spend a bunch of time on it. Don't be duplicating content or creating content. Just whatever's going up on Facebook, kick it over to Twitter. But you know what's interesting, just before I cut off this question, if we're looking at real micro trends right now, something interesting that we're seeing is because Twitter's made some tweaks and some adjustments here in the last 6 months. We're actually seeing a lot of market share with junior high and young high schoolers right now. Was recently watching an interview and every single 8th grader said that they were on Snapchat and Twitter. And that probably is one of the most shocking social media trends I've seen this year. So super interesting, again, very micro scale. And I think what's even, the other interesting fact that I just saw a few weeks ago was that Instagram has slowed with that generation, their growth. And so a lot of people, as soon as that happens, I mean, it's like Wall Street. As soon as like profits go down, I mean, people start freaking out and the red flags come up. But there's a really interesting play right now with Facebook and Snapchat kind of squeezing Instagram. And I mean, Facebook clearly owns a generation. Snapchat is out of control with the younger generation. It's squeezing Instagram a bit. And so that's slowing. Twitter is kind of on the rise. So, you know, who knows, man? It's social media. I mean, anything can happen.
Question number 2 is from Dr. Stevenson. Is patient retention part of your marketing strategy?
Dr. Stevenson, the answer to this question, I mean, is patient retention important? And the answer is yes, yes, yes. I mean, 1,000,000 times yes. And so in some ways, I mean, what we do mostly is we're focused on external marketing. And so it can get a little overlooked, but honestly, the most important marketing strategy you can ever have, I mean, if there's zero budget and you don't know where to begin, is just start here with patient retention, because it's the easiest thing you can do, and keeping patients happy and in the practice is the best long-term solution to the health of your business. And so that's what I would say. You know, on the other end of it, what I see happen a lot is, especially when we work with practices where the marketing is very successful, is it's easier to live off of the excitement and almost the adrenaline hit of new patients every month, and knowing that, man, we had 95 new patients this month. I mean, that's awesome, that's amazing, but if you're not careful, you can leave the back door open because you're just caught up on the energy, the movement, the speed of seeing this many new patients. And so a lot of times what I have to do is come in and start consulting with practices on, hey, let's up the patient quality. Let's work on retention strategies to close that back door. But if we're gonna do some quick numbers, it's really easy. If you wanna increase profit by 10%, increase patient retention by 2%. I mean, that's it. Increase patient retention by 2%, and at the end of the year, the next year, you'll see a 10% increase in profit because of that. It's that staggering. And so, if you said, hey, how do I figure out patient retention? I mean, honestly, it's real easy. It's take the new patients from the last 6 months, take all of them, and how many of those are scheduled for recare within the next 12 months. So you can kind of reconcile those lists, and that'll give you a percentage. There's some other ways to do it. I mean, you can take how many patients should have appointments for recare this month versus how many actually have appointments for recare this month, and run the percentage on that. But those are the two easiest strategies. Nationally, they say that the attrition percentage is probably about 15%. So you should see about 85% retention when you run those reports. I'd like to push you and get closer to 90. So, but if you run that and you're at 60, 68, 72, we got some work to do. If you're 80, 85, your national average, I'd like to see you push that 88, 90, 92%.
And question number 3 is from Dr. Sang. What are your thoughts on offers or coupons?
Dr. Sang, look, what I really believe is that there's two markets in America today. There's two economies. And so you've got the top half of the economy that I don't think is as sensitive to price, and therefore they're not coupon shopping, and your latest offer of the month is not as motivating. They're literally making decisions on dentists and healthcare based on who's the best in the area, who do all their friends and family see, whose values mostly line up with theirs and what they're looking for. And then I think there's another market, and we can call it the bottom half of the market, but those are your price shoppers. Those are the coupon shoppers, price sensitive. They are looking for the best deal. Even when it comes to dentistry and healthcare, which can sound maybe a little bit crazy, but that's the truth, is they're gonna be motivated by a coupon, by a low price, by a deal. What are they getting free from it? And so the question is not whether one is right and one is wrong. That's really not what we're talking about here. They're both right. The question is, where does your practice model fit? Okay, and so which market are you reaching? And so if you're trying to reach the top half of the market, and they're not as price sensitive and not as coupon or offer driven, and yet every month you've got some type of special running, and you're wondering why it's not pulling traffic and why you're not getting more results, it's probably just because it's a mismatch of the model and the market. And yet if you're trying to reach the bottom market and your practice is that model, and yet there's never any discounts and never any offers, and you're going for this like strong brand name recognition play, lots of technology and focus on expertise and all that, that may not be a good fit for that market as well, because they're looking for something. And so do coupons work? I think that was the original question. If you're in the market where that model supports it, yes. That's who you're marketing to. Man, put the coupons out there, put the offers out there. It's not a reflection on your dentistry. It's not a reflection on your philosophy. It is a reflection of your approach to that market. And if you're reaching the top half of the market and you are that model, then a strong branded play, name recognition, community involvement and support, those types of things matter more and carry more weight. So coupons could be a good fit. You'll have to answer that question. Guys, this has been episode 49. Thanks so much for being around. Some good questions. Next episode, we're gonna be fielding some questions along the lines of practice purchases based off my article. If you have any questions about acquiring, merging, buying, purchasing, send those to me. Would love to have them and feature on that episode number 50. Question for the episode: what is your patient retention number? What is it? And I know you don't know it, so go back, do the work, do the math, because you could be surprised, seriously. And that could be the topic of your next staff meeting, is what is that percentage? What are we doing about it to make it better? So I'll see you next episode. Like a blade over here, like my hand's gonna get cut off. It's like, just bring it back. I saved it, it's okay, we're all right. Okay.